Carl Jung was best known for his theory on transcendence, which is the goal of discovering oneself through individuation. In order to achieve transcendence, Jung believed that one must confront and assimilate the unconscious. This involved dethroning the persona and acknowledging the darker forces within. In this interview between Jung and Darth Vader, Jung investigates Anakin Skywalker's journey to transcendence in the story of Star Wars.
I'm here with Anakin Skywalker.
That's not my name.
Why do you say that?
That name no longer has any meaning to me. It referred to me when I was weak and foolish. The name was when I was a Jedi before I took on the Shadow persona. I was weak, but I was also happier.
Why at first were you so close with Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I never had a father figure. Obi-Wan practically raised me. Then when I was older, he became like a brother to me.
What was your first step towards the dark side?
When out of vengeance, I murdered a whole colony of Tusken Raiders, because some of them killed my mother. That was the first time I truly acted on the darker forces within me.
Were there other steps after that?
Well, yes. After very violently killing the Tusken Raiders, I also broke the Jedi Code and married Padme. I also killed a Jedi Master named Mace Windu. I swore allegiance to the Emperor Palpatine, who turned out to be an evil Sith Lord. And I force-choked my pregnant wife to death.
Interesting. And when was this journey complete?
My journey to the dark side was completed when I donned the suit and the mask of Darth Vader after I had been burned.
Interesting. Why didn't you kill Luke, your son?
I'd have to say this was probably because my personal unconscious couldn't allow me to murder my own son. I originally did love Luke. He is my own son. Somehow deep inside me, my personal unconscious retained this memory. When confronted with the issue of killing my son, my personal unconscious intruded on my personality, preventing me from...
What helped or hindered your journey to transcendence? What about Luke's journey?
Because of my thirst for power and the promise of power from Palpatine, I fell entirely to the dark side. This definitely prolonged my individuation, but Luke saved me. Luke still has a long way to go, but now that he is a fully realized Jedi, he could very possibly die peacefully and achieve transcendence just like Yoda.
If you achieve transcendence, when do you think you achieved it?
When I saw my son dying, and I made the decision to save him, endangering myself, I physically picked up and threw Palpatine off the landing. This gravely injured me, but I was willing to sacrifice myself for Luke. Then in my final minutes of life, I asked him to remove my mask, which dethroned the persona of Darth Vader and the Shadow archetype. After doing this, I felt at peace.
Thank you for the interview, Darth Vader. You have achieved transcendence.
Anakin Skywalker's story accurately portrays Carl Jung's philosophy on the journey to transcendence. George Lucas even admits to reinventing a traditional myth with Star Wars. Anakin starts out as the archetypal hero of the story. He was portrayed as kind and generous, and he worked as a Jedi, all traditional characteristics of the hero. He begins the traditional hero's journey following the archetypal wise old man, Obi-Wan Kenobi. However, he begins to act upon the darker forces within and outside himself. This begins his transformation from the hero to the Shadow archetype. George Lucas admits that he created the character Darth Vader to be the evil within humanity, the very definition of the Jungian shadow. Darth Vader also represents the persona that Anakin masks himself with as he retracts his loyalty to the Jedi Council. However, Anakin's experiences as a Jedi filter into his personal unconscious. As Darth Vader admits in the interview, his love for his son remains in his personal unconscious and affects his actions. As the series comes to an end, Anakin completes his journey. Darth Vader acknowledges the evil he has committed, reflecting the Jungian act of acknowledging the darker forces within. He saves Luke and topples the Empire by throwing Palpatine into the Death Star's reactor shaft, ultimately killing him. This represents the idea of assimilating the unconscious. Finally, Darth Vader physically takes off his mask, reflecting the idea of demasking the persona. After these events occur, Anakin becomes one with the Force and dies at peace. In this act, Anakin successfully achieves transcendence.
I am Carl Jung, here to talk with Darth Vader. Hello. Hello, Darth Vader.
Hello. This definitely prolonged my individuation, but Luke saved me. Luke still has a long way to go, but now that he is a fully realized Jedi, he could very possibly die peacefully, at peace, and achieve transcendence, just like Yoda.
Oh God.
He could die peacefully at peace. What if we just did that question again?
What helped or hindered your journey to transcendence? What about Luke's journey to transcendence? What helped or hindered your journey to transcendence? What?
You gotta be a little less sensitive. Go. Wait, go. No, turn him towards the camera.
He has achieved transcendence.